All right, welcome to the call. We're about 2 minutes out from starting the call here today. And we're going to be talking about getting more leads into the office, talking about some things about Facebook and some things that you can do to get more new patients this year. So we did do a call last week. So this isn't the first call of 2019. But we are going to be going over some of those different things to be more successful. I want to specifically talk to you about comments and things like that on your ad because it's important to have somebody in the office that's monitoring those comments and responding appropriately to the comments because we're opening up the door for people to respond about chiropractic, their health, whether you take their insurance. So we need to know as far as what exactly we want to say to those people when they respond. So we're going to be going over that today. We're also going to be covering some different things as far as that I know that I do in my own office with the Facebook ads that I want you guys to do. And I'm going to be telling you a little bit about the importance of posting regularly to your Facebook page. If you need help with that, I'm going to tell you how to get that today too as well. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be covering. I also want to go over some things about just answering the phone. I know a lot of the guys that are doing the marketing training call, they're not only doing as far as the Facebook ads, calling out to the Facebook ads, but they're also taking calls in. And when anybody calls your office, there are certain things that you want to make sure that you're covering with that patient to make sure that you get them in the door. That's the result of the call to get a patient scheduled. So there are things as far as that we can do to get more patients scheduled, and we're going to be going over that. I also am going to be sharing on the website some training for specifically calling leads that I want you guys to make sure that you're following some rules and things as far as that you need to follow. So I'm going to make it very simple this year in 2019 for us to get more leads from Facebook because the training is going to be really concise. It's going to be really specific things that we should be doing. And I'm going to share those things with you from people that are doing it successfully. That's what I want us to do. Is I want us to follow all the actions that are done out there, and especially the successful ones. So let's get started today. Welcome to the marketing training call. It's 10-15 minutes of training specifically designed to help you guys get more leads in the office. So you want to make sure that you're reminding yourself of those successful things that you need to be doing every time you make a phone call. And one of the biggest things that came up as far as for me today for you guys to take away from this is making sure that you're passionate about calling people and getting yourself sort of psyched up and ready to make these phone calls and making sure that you block off some time to do the calls in your day. And one thing that I recently just went over earlier today in one of the webinars that I do for our member program is making sure as far as when you are calling leads that that is the job that you're focusing on. When you're running the front desk, sometimes you'll make calls out, but you're not sort of specifically focusing on the leads. So I want to make sure that you guys are specifically focusing on the leads so many hours a week, and that's going to give you results that you want from the Facebook ads. Face it, we can put some ads out there. We can get a response to these ads. We'll get people that's scheduled. And if we don't do anything, we'll get some results from Facebook ads. But what this is about is getting you the most results as we possibly can. And there is a way to do that. There's no argument there, and I have people tell me all the time, oh, well, I'm not comfortable with that type of advertising, or I'm not comfortable with this type of advertising. And what you have to do is you have to pick as far as what you feel comfortable with. So with Facebook ads, this is something that we're putting out there. It's what I call sort of a bullseye approach to getting a patient in. We're asking a person, do you have this? They're identifying themselves as someone who has the condition that you're treating. And the next step is making sure that we're following up with them regularly to make sure that we turn that person into an appointment. Now, again, some of the patients that we actually get in touch with through Facebook ads will schedule themselves, but they even come higher on the list of people that you want to call. So I can't stress that enough. I know I go over it every single week, but it's that important for us to remember those successful things that we need to to do regularly to get more and more people in from our Facebook ads. So these are things as far as that we know are successful. Again, we know because we have lots and lots of offices that are doing these things, and the training is so important. So if you are on this position of getting these leads in, I want you guys to know that it's very, very, very important piece to the office, because new patients consistently walking in your door is what actually creates a successful office. So anything that you can do to get new patients to consistently walk in your door is going to create an office that is very viable, an office that is very profitable, an office that is helping lots of people. So make sure that you're consistently doing these things. And if someone schedules from Facebook, the sooner you get to that person, the better. So you don't want to let time go by without reaching out to that person, even the people that have scheduled themselves. I have this come up a lot. People will tell me they're on the program, they're doing the leads, and they'll say, I didn't really get to these leads as soon as I possibly could. And I tell them, I'll say, well, that's going to create a situation where you're getting less and less from the program. So remember that that is at the top of your list, is responding to those people. And that's why we have real time notifications going out, letting you guys know when someone responds. So think about it like that. There is a window of opportunity with anything. So I want to make sure that you understand the window of opportunity is there for getting that person in, and you want to take advantage of that. So if someone responds to an ad, getting back to them as soon as possible, even if they scheduled, and firming up that lead and making sure that they have great directions to the office. And then sending them, a Google map location so they can just plug into their GPS. Sending them a picture of you outside the office waving, saying, looking forward to meeting you. I went over how to do that. There's instructions. And if you need the instructions, let me know. But there's instructions how to do that. It's real simple, but it's all about creating a relationship with that person and making sure that they get from you that you are interested in them, interested in their condition, and interested in helping them. And that's going to increase the number of people that find you and get into your office. So those are the things as far as that are at the top of the list. Now, when you have two different scenarios, people that schedule and then people that don't actually take advantage of the scheduling right away, there's two different ways that you want to work with those leads. So think about it. You have to think from the patient standpoint. People are going on Facebook and they are not looking for us as chiropractors. They are looking at all their Facebook business, and then we have this really nice ad that speaks to them. And it says, if you have these conditions, we can help you and take advantage of this great offer. And then they respond to it. And then we get their information. So we want to make sure that when that person gets to that step where they schedule, we understand why it is they schedule and why they don't. Think about it. There are many different reasons a person may not take advantage of the automatic scheduling. It doesn't say that they're not as interested, by no means. So you have to remember that. So when a person takes advantage of the auto scheduling, that just means that they have their schedule there. They're in, looking, and they say, oh, I can come in tomorrow. Maybe their need is high. Maybe they just are off that week. I mean, there's all kinds of different scenarios. But if someone doesn't schedule right away, it just means that maybe they were at work and they couldn't look at their schedule, or maybe they were doing something really quick and thought, wow, I could really, use that. So we want to make sure that we get back to those people as soon as possible and make that connection. Now, one thing that I want to go over with you today, which is some new information, and this is something that came up with one of my offices, and I'm going to actually have this person who has experience in making these calls. I'm going to do a podcast on it. You guys will be available to watch that and listen to it. But it's talking about as far as some of the things that we have to do in order to be successful. And one of the things, as far as that came up, is having the opportunity not to leave a message, and deciding whether you leave a message or not. Now, this is what I'm telling you guys as far as with this. We want to make multiple attempts and we want to get a hold of the person who had reached out to us. So we don't want to leave a message. We want to make sure that we're calling that person back and taking an opportunity to call them a little later. So if a lead comes in, they didn't schedule and it comes across our desk and it alerts us at 10 o'clock that we have a lead, we want to call out to them. If they don't pick up, I wouldn't leave a message and then I would make another attempt a little bit later, because if you leave a message on the phone, then they might say, well, I'll get back to that, or and it kind of leaves the ball in their court. And you always want to be in control. That's one of the things as far as that we want to make sure we're doing when we call patients, is that we control the situation on the telephone and we get that person to schedule through taking good control and making sure that we're offering two appointments, morning or evening. Is later today or tomorrow better for you? Making sure that we know the importance of getting that person sooner than later. Now, one thing that has come up, and I want to bring this to your attention, are those people that you get in touch with and they say, oh, I can't talk right now. What I want you guys to do is just say, okay, well, I'm just making a few calls out today. I don't know if I'll be able to get back in touch with you, because that's the truth. We have lots of leads coming in, and we're only looking for those people that are really interested in taking advantage of this great offer. So that's the way I would present that somebody, somebody who's kind of putting you off. And again, this year, 2019, we are creating a lot of information to help as far as specifically with calling the leads. It's something that requires a lot of training. It's something that requires somebody to be really educated about what's going on the other side of that telephone. And one thing that we have to realize is that if somebody says to us, "Oh, I can't talk right now," and wants to put us off, it doesn't put us in a good position to say to them, "Oh, well, when can I call you back? Are you going to be available later?" "Yeah, sure, you can call me back later today." And then later today, we call them back. Are you there yet? Can we talk to you? We don't want to put ourselves in that position. We have something that's very valuable, and we have to have that person realize on the other end of the phone that what we have is very valuable. So when you make these calls to the person and the person says, "Oh, can you give me a call back 2 weeks from now?" I would be honest with them and I would say, Mary, I don't know if I can do that. I'm just making a few calls out and I'm reaching people who are really interested in getting their problems taken care of. And you have identified yourself if somebody is needing our help. And I do have some appointments later today or tomorrow, but I can't promise you that I'm going to be able to get back to you. I'll put you on my list. And if I get back to you, I get back to you, but I can't promise that. And I would let them know that, because that's the truth. A lot of times we go through and we call these people on our list. It's important for them to understand that this is a window of opportunity on their side too as well. So they have this opportunity to come in, get this condition handled, and see the chiropractor, or the weight loss specialist, whatever it is that you guys are offering on your Facebook offer. But it's important to know, from our standpoint and from the caller standpoint, is you want to create a need for this appointment. So you don't want to make it sound like, they can come in anytime they want. You'll call them back later this week and offer it on Friday or Monday or Wednesday or Tuesday. You want to make sure, as far as that, you create a want and need in them. And the way to do that, if somebody says, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to come in this week, can I call you back later this week?" Or, "Can you call me back later this week?" You respond and you say, "I'm only making a few calls out for the doctor. I'm looking for people that are really motivated to get their condition changed. You've identified yourself as somebody that needed our help. What's going on with your health?" And hear that person out. And this is what I'm telling you as far as with this. If we get back to the people um, as soon as possible, and we understand the need of that. If someone responds to our ad and we get back to them, an hour after they responded, and they're not motivated to come in, well, guess what? They might not be the best lead and move on to the next person. So that's what you have to realize. You have to realize now, I'm not saying if you get a hold of somebody 4 days later, then it might be on us that we didn't get a hold of them when they were ready or when they were motivated to come in. So then that's when you might want to create a little more motivation on the other side of the phone. But I want you guys to understand that you guys have something here that's very valuable. And I want you to respond to the person in that manner. And I want you to say, you know, Mary, the doctor only has a few appointments available for this special this week. And we're looking for people that are really motivated to change their health. And you responded for some reason. What's going on with your health? And then hear what they have to say. If they're still not motivated or they give you this, well, I'm not really sure what I'm doing this week or next week, just say, okay, well, I'll put you on the list. And if I can get back to you, I will. And then move on. And I would treat it exactly like that. If you have the time and you can get back to them, then get back to them. But you know what? You may not have the time because we get you a lot of leads and you want to make sure that you're calling those hotter leads. More than you're calling the ones that have been sitting there for a long time. And, the fact of the matter is they may respond again. So I wouldn't write them off. And a lot of doctors will tell me that. They'll say, well, if I call one time and the person's not interested in coming in, well, they're not a good lead. And I would disagree. They are a good lead because they have a condition and they've let us know that they, live in our area and they want our help. So we got to apply the things that we know that work. And those are the things that work. Get to them as soon as possible. Make sure that we're not leaving a message, that we try back again. And then say the appointment is on Friday and we tried this person once or twice to confirm up the appointment on Friday. Then we might want to leave a message. Hey, Mary, I've called a few times. I couldn't get a hold of you, but I wanted to firm up your appointment. The doctor has everything set aside for you on Friday at 3 o'clock. We're looking forward to meeting you, and I'll shoot you a text message with specific directions and the picture of the outside of our building. So those are ways, as far as that you create, as far as that ease that that person's going to find you and make it to your office. So I want you guys to know that we're going to be putting up some information 2019 on the website, specifically designed to help you guys get very, very trained, highly trained in doing this. And I'm telling you, this is something that can be used in a chiropractic office for all kinds of things. This training is very, very valuable. I would suggest you get most of the people that are in your office through this training because we're going to teach them really how to create a want, a need, in someone else for what it is that you have. And you can apply that to anything. What we want to do is we want to understand these people that are coming our way. These are people that sometimes have had conditions for a long period of time. They've been putting off their health. They've been told by other people that they need something that we can't offer them. So when they have let us know that they have this condition, we want to apply these things. And I want to make it as easy as possible so you can apply the right things each time to get the best result from the Facebook ads that we're running for you. And there are things that you can do to get real successful at this. So that's what I'm helping you guys do: build a really good um, army, of people that are highly trained and they know what to do and they understand the ins and the outs of calling and making sure we're getting more and more patients into chiropractic offices. And that's the way you do it. You don't do it by saying, well, there's nothing I can do. If the person has interest in what I have, then they have interest in what I have. And if they don't, they don't. Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's not going to get you very far. If that's the way you're looking at it, then you're basically leaving the success that you're going to have with this up to everybody else who's out there. And you're just waiting for that highly motivated patient to come see you. And you won't see a lot of people if you're just waiting for highly motivated ones. You have to create the motivation, and there is a way to do that. And we have the training for you. So I want to make sure you guys know every Tuesday at 2 o'clock, we do this quick training. Be available, make it part of what you do to consistently go over what it is you need to have in your arsenal to make sure that you're effective with the leads. I'm Dr. Rob Marvenko. I'll see you guys next week in the next call, next Tuesday, 2 o'clock. I'm going to be going over more things with you to create more and more success this year with the Facebook ads. And look for that training that we're going to put out on our website. It's going to be available to you. And I want to make sure that I get each and every one of you through the training to make sure that you're highly qualified to get the most out of the Facebook ads. So I'll talk to you soon. I'm Dr. Rob.